Dart skill presents rounding off, compensating, and estimating. Recall that a number in the base 10 system or the decimal system is comprised of digits based on their place values. The rightmost digit on the number is the ones place, the one before it is the tens place, the one before it is the hundreds place, the one before it is the thousands place, and the one before it is the 10,000s place, and so on. And rounding is the process of changing a number to its nearest 5, that's the ones place, to the nearest tens, to the nearest hundreds, to the nearest thousands, or to the nearest any power of 10. When you round a number to a certain place value, everything to the right of that place value changes to 0, everything to the left of that place value remains fixed, and that particular place value either remains the same if the digit next to it is less than or equal to 4, or it increases by 1 if the digit next to it is greater than or equal to 5. Take for example the number 6483. The nearest 5 to this number is 6485, because 83 is closer to 85 than to 80. The nearest 10 for this number is 6480, because 83 is closer to 80 than to 90. The nearest 100 to this number is 6500, because 483 is closer to 500 than to 400. And to the nearest 1000, this number is 6000, because this number is closer to 6000 than to 7000. And to do them quickly, you just follow the rule as I mentioned on the previous page. For example, if you want to round this to the nearest 100, you look at the hundreds place, which is this one. Everything to the right of it changes to 0. So we have a 0 and a 0. This 4 either had to stay the same, or it should have changed to a 5 depending on the digit next to it. Because the digit next to it is 5 or more, in this case 8, the 4 changed to a 5, and everything to the left of it stays the same, so we have a 6. Similarly, 7812 to the nearest 5 is 7810, because 12 is closer to 10 than to 15. To the nearest 10 is 7810 again. If you look at this tens place, there's a 2 next to it, so the 1 stays a 1, the 2 changes to a 0, everything before it stays the same. This number to the nearest 100 is 7800, because the digit after the 8, the hundreds place, is 1, which is 4 or less. And similarly to the nearest 1000, this number is 8000, because everything to its right changes to 0, and the 7 changes to a 8 because the digit next to it is 5 or more. Often in real life, you don't have access to a calculator or even a paper and a pencil or a pen, and the situation demands that you do some basic math in your head. For example, if you go for shopping, you want to quickly find your change, or if you have enough money in your bag to buy something of your choice. If you know rounding, you can estimate, that is, round the numbers to something easier to work with and go on to find the answer. Let's look at an example. Leander had 500 Rand with her. She bought a pair of sunglasses for 148 Rand and a watch for 135 Rand. She wanted to buy a jewelry for 199 Rand. Did she have enough money with her to buy the jewelry? She started with 500 Rand and then she already bought a pair of sunglasses for 148 Rand, and then also a watch for 135 Rand. Now the question is, does she still have enough money to buy the jewelry that costs 199 Rand? Now you could round these two numbers to their nearest 10. To the nearest 10, 148 Rand is 150 Rand. And to the nearest 10, 135 Rand, remember 5 or more is rounding up. So this changes to 140 Rand. And then 150 plus 140 is a lot easier to do than 148 plus 135. If you add them up, you get 290 Rand. She needs another 199 Rand to buy the jewelry. Change that to 200, round that to 200. So even if you add the price of the jewelry, the roundabout price, 200 Rand, you are still under 500. This is 490 Rand. So the answer is yes, she does have enough money to buy the jewelry. So this is how you could use your knowledge on rounding to estimate the answer. If you actually add these two numbers up, you won't get 290. You will get something close to it. But it kind of gives you an idea to say, okay, yes, she does have enough money, so she could buy it. You could also use the compensation technique, to estimate answers. Imagine you want to add 27 with 18. Now if you change the 27 to a 30, that is add 3, and change the 18 to a 20, that is add 2, the two new numbers are 30 and 20. And it's very easy to add these two numbers. The answer is 50. But because you added 3, this time you need to subtract 3 and then also subtract 2 because you added 2. So the final answer is 2 less than 3 less than 50. 50 minus 3 is 47. 47 minus 2 is 45. Similarly, if you want to do 72 plus 57, you can change the 72 to a 70 by subtracting 2 and then 57 to a 60 by adding 3. So effectively you are adding 1 to these two numbers, taking away 2 and then adding 3. It's like saying, okay, you have added 1. And the new numbers you get are 70 and 60, and they're very easy to add. 70 plus 60 is 130 because 7 plus 6 is 13. And because you added 1 to the numbers to find the right answer, remember 130 is an estimated answer, a roundabout answer. You got to subtract that 1. So the final answer is 129. That's how you could use the method of compensation.